Star Wars The Force Awakens came out back in 2015. It has a very high Rotten Tomatoes score of 93% from the critics. I don't agree with that score. I think it's too high because while The Force Awakens is a movie that is fun to watch, entertaining, there are good moments of humor in it. There's good music from John Williams. Well done action scenes. I think the problem here is not only that the movie's too similar to New Hope, as many people have talked about before. More than that, for me, first of all, Finn's character is not used well at all. The idea of a stormtrooper becoming a good guy is actually a really interesting and fascinating idea, but then the movie wastes the potential of this idea because, for one, Finn should be very stiff, even robotic at first, because he was raised in a very harsh military environment where any kind of individuality, any kind of humanity was completely stripped away because this guy was like all the other stormtroopers wasn't given a name, just a number, and was raised in this very strict, rigid military environment. But yet Finn comes off as so goofy. Also, it doesn't make sense that Finn just kills his fellow stormtroopers and doesn't have any problem with this whatsoever. He should have a strong connection to his fellow stormtroopers because, well, he was raised with them. They're the closest thing he had to a family. So there should be a moment where Finn stops and thinks about the fact that he's killed fellow stormtroopers that he knows have been brainwashed just like he was. Also, I think that this movie really undermines the ending of Return of the Jedi. That's the biggest problem with this movie by far, is that it's not a good sequel to the original trilogy. It's a terrible sequel to the original trilogy because this movie says, oh, hey, remember all the heroes that you loved from the original three movies? Well, guess what? They actually didn't accomplish anything. All that they did amounted to nothing. They all just ended up being old, sad, miserable failures. They're all separated from each other. Luke is just off on an island. He ran away. Han and Leia are separated. They failed to be good parents. All of Han's character growth from the original trilogy, that's been tossed in the dumpster for the sake of giving us the Han we got in A New Hope. He's just back to being a smuggler. And then Leia's still leading a rebellion, even though this is 30 years after the original trilogy. Also, we have the Empire versus Rebellion conflict once again, even though we've already seen that in the original trilogy. Even though the good guys won at the end of Return of the Jedi, we once again have a small band of underdogs fighting against a big, powerful, evil empire. Also, this movie says, you remember how the rebellion fought to restore the Republic? They fought to restore democracy in the original trilogy. Well, you know what? It didn't end up mattering at all. That victory that you saw at the end of the original trilogy amounted to absolutely nothing because, just screw the New Republic. They don't matter at all. We barely see the New Republic. It's only mentioned a few times, then you see them for a grand total of a few seconds, and then they're just gone. So, whatever. Who cares? I don't like this kind of approach at all. I'm just saying that nothing our heroes did amounted to anything. Also, I think that Rey is too good at things in this movie without enough of an explanation. And also, there's not enough moments of her being vulnerable or having to be helped by others, or even just her making a mistake that ends up costing our hero something. I don't think the problem is Daisy Ridley at all. I think the problem is the writing. And honestly, it's sad because when we initially meet Ray, the movie does a good job of like just visually showing you what her life is like. But then as the movie goes on, things just get worse. So I think that 93% is just too high for The Force Awakens.